Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another lesson with us here at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we have a lesson for all our university students out there.
That's right. We're talking about registering for university.
Okay, so it's a difficult process sometimes, even in your own language. So we're going to try and make it a little bit easier by giving you some of the common words you would need to register at a university.
All right. Well, I think it's time we get started by listening to the dialogue. And we're going to listen to a young female student as she tries to choose her classes.
Excuse me, is this where I register? I'd like to sign up for my courses for next semester.
Yes, of course. I need your student ID, please.
Here you are.
It says here that you are a business major and that you're in your second year. Is this information correct?
Yes. I do want to take some additional credits this year to get a minor in psychology.
Sure, that's not a problem. Do you have the list of courses that you want to take this semester?
Vocabulary preview?
Yeah, here's my list. I'm not sure if the class schedule will allow me to take all of them, though.
That's perfect. What about the subjects for your minor?
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I need to take fundamental linguistics, consumer psychology, and neuroanatomy.
Wow, you're going to be busy this semester. Here you go. You're registered now. You have to make your first tuition payment before classes start.
All right, great. A very good student taking a lot of classes this semester.
I know. And it sounds like some of them are pretty hard as well.
Yeah, they are. Well, she used some of those very common phrases that we would need when we are registering at university. So let's take a look at them now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so the first thing, I think we need to deal with this word to
Register.
So register for university.
Okay, so we've mentioned this word many times, so I think it would be a good idea to listen to some examples, and then we'll come back and explain it.
Example 1.
I registered to attend the conference on international trade this month.
Example 2.
It is your obligation as a good citizen to register to vote.
Example 3.
It is necessary to register on our website before joining the conference.
So when you register for something, you put your name down on a list, right? Mm-hmm. So in this case, when you register for university, you officially put your name on the list of students in that course.
So you can register for university. What else can you register for?
Register for a class. You can even register to vote.
Okay, so register. Now, she was registering for her classes, and we saw these words that we know already, but it's a good idea to take a look at them. We heard that she is a business major.
So a major.
A major.
A business major.
And what is your major?
The major is the major area that you study, the most important area that you study.
The area where you are specialized.
Yeah, the area that you focus on.
Okay. Now, we heard another one that's called a minor.
So this is another area that you study, but it is less important than your major.
Okay, so major and your minor.
So let's give an example. Imagine you must take 100 classes to graduate from university. Maybe you have to take 50 for your major and maybe 30 for your minor.
Okay, very good. And now on your degree, on your title, does it say what is your major and minor?
Well, I think it depends on the university, but in my case, yes.
Very good. So major and minor. Now, related to this and what you were saying about your classes, it takes us to our next word, which is credits.
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 Now, this is easily confused with classes sometimes.
That's right. Well, a credit is a point. So in university, you need a certain number of credits or points to graduate.
Okay. So suppose you need 100 credits to graduate.
So that's not 100 courses because each course might be worth 4 or 6 or 8 credits, depending on how important it is.
Very good. So maybe the classes that are part of your major will have more credits. All right. Very good. And now we have our last word in this dialogue, and it was
tuition.
She had to pay her tuition.
So tuition is the money that you must pay for education.
Only for education.
That's right. So university tuition, private school tuition, or even language course tuition.
So a tuition is the money you must pay for school only. So we've seen a lot of great words used for registering at university. So I think it's time to listen to the dialogue for the second time a little bit slower, and then we'll come back and take a look at some phrases.
Excuse me, is this where I register? I'd like to sign up for my courses for next semester.
Yes, of course. I need your student ID, please.
Here you are.
Okay, Susan. It says here that you are a business major and that you're in your second year. Is this information correct?
Yes. I do want to take some additional credits this year to get a minor in psychology.
Sure, that's not a problem. Do you have the list of courses that you want to take this semester?
Yeah, here's my list. I'm not sure if the class schedule will allow me to take all of them, though.
Yeah, that's perfect. What about the subjects for your minor?
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I need to take fundamental linguistics, consumer psychology, and neuroanatomy.
Wow, you're going to be busy this semester. Okay, here you go. You're registered now. You have to make your first tuition payment before classes start.
All right, so it's time for putting it together.
Putting it together.
And we're going to look at some phrases here that we can use to talk about education and university, and we can use them in different ways.
All right, and our first phrase is actually very similar to register.
To sign up for something.
Okay,
I'd like to sign up for my courses.
I think it would be a good idea if we listen to some examples of how we can use this phrase.
Example 1.
I signed up for a 1-year gym membership.
Example 2.
If you want to assist our meeting, you need to sign up first.
Example 3.
I hate signing up for things online because they just send you spam emails.
So I can see that to sign up for something is to agree to take part in it.
Okay, so it's a little bit more informal than register.
Yeah, exactly. Less formal.
All right. So moving on to our second phrase, this is very important because it's often used improperly, right?
People often make mistakes with this phrase.
All right, so let's look at this phrase, second year.
So she is in her second year.
Now, it seems very simple, so why are we explaining this?
Well, it often gets confused with grade. So when we talk about university, we talk about first year, second year, third year, fourth year. We cannot say grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4.
Or year 1, year 2.
No, it's always first year, second year, third year, fourth year.
Okay, very good. Or last year.
Yeah, last year.
My last year of college.
Exactly.
Very good. So now you know how you can explain to someone what year of college or university you're in.
Yes, that's right.
Very good. And we have one more phrase to you. And it was when she was getting her class schedule.
So cool.
Class schedule.
Now, a schedule is the list of things you do at what time.
Right? So it's the timetable of your day or your week.
Yep.
All right. And your class schedule will say all the classes that you have and what time they're at.
So what other types of schedules can we have?
You also have maybe a gym schedule.
That's right. Or even a work schedule.
Right. So we have different types of schedules and you can use it depending on what you are doing. Those are all the phrases we have for putting it together today. And now let's listen to the dialogue for the last time and then we'll come back.
Excuse me, is this where I register? I'd like to sign up for my courses for next semester.
Yes, of course. I need your student ID, please.
Here you are.
Okay, Susan. It says here that you are a business major and that you're in your second year. Is this information correct?
Yes. I do want to take some additional credits this year to get a minor in psychology.
Sure, that's not a problem. Do you have the list of courses that you want to take this semester?
Yeah, here's my list. I'm not sure if the class schedule will allow me to take all of them, though.
Yeah, that's perfect. What about the subjects for your minor?
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I need to take fundamental linguistics, consumer psychology, and neuroanatomy.
Wow, you're going to be busy this semester. Here you go. You're registered now. You have to make your first tuition payment before classes start.
All right, so we were talking about second year, first year, third year, etc.
Yep.
Now, there are also other names that we give to each year. both for high school and university.
And I think this is only for America, like in the United States. We don't do this in Canada, and I always get so confused. So, Marco, what is the name you give to first-year students?
Okay, first-year students are called freshmen.
Okay, because
They're fresh. Yeah, they just came from middle school. They just came from high school.
All right, and what about the second-year students?
They're called sophomores.
Okay, because they're soft?
Well, there's not soft. It's sophomore. S-O-P-H.
Sophomore.
And then third-year students are called juniors.
Okay, because they're almost the junior manager.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then last year students are called seniors.
Uh-huh. So they're the oldest guys in the school.
Exactly. So you can say, yeah, I'm a sophomore at Arizona State University.
Okay. We only use this in America, though, right?
Yes. It's very... And not only for university, but also for high school.
Okay.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And if you have any questions or comments, or you want to share with us your experiences in high school or university, please come to the website at englishpod.com.
That's right. So Marco and I are there to answer your questions. And until next time, thanks for listening and goodbye.
Bye.
Second paragraph in the dialogue.
All right, let's dive into some golf English. We got this request to check out an English learning podcast episode. And, it's all about golf vocabulary.
Oh, interesting.
But you know what? We're going to go beyond just the words themselves, right?
Yeah.
We're going to look at how it ties into business culture.
Oh, that's a good angle.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I'm curious.
So this episode, it starts off with some, basic golf terms like what is an aficionado?
Right.
And they give some examples, not even just golf. They talk about wine aficionados, even podcast aficionados.
Yeah.
Let's see what they did there.
A little meta.
Yeah, a little meta, exactly. And then, of course, they talk about, club, the golf course, like just setting the stage.
The basics.
Yeah, the basics.
Yeah.
But then they get into this dialogue, right?
Okay.
And it's these two announcers covering game, and it features Tiger Woods.
Oh, cool.
And I'm telling you, it was so descriptive, I felt like I was right there on the green.
Nice. Yeah.
So they mentioned, for example, Tiger's at the 8th hole, and it's a par 4.
Oh.
And, I know what par is,
Right.
but the way this episode explains it, it just really clicked for me.
Yeah, par can be a little bit of a weird one to wrap your head around.
Right.
Because it's like the expected number of strokes to get the ball in the hole.
Right.
But a lower score is actually better.
Exactly. So if Tiger takes 5 strokes on a par 4,
Uh-huh.
he's over par.
He is.
And that's called a bogey.
Right, exactly. You got it.
Okay, so if he did it in 3 strokes, that would be a birdie.
Exactly. That's 1 under par.
Okay, I'm getting it now.
There you go.
So they also talk about how Tiger asks his caddy for his driver.
Okay.
And I learned a caddy is like, the golfer's assistant,
Right.
carries their clubs, gives advice.
Right.
And the driver is this club that you use for those long distance shots.
Right. Especially when you're teeing off, which is how you start each hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm picking up all this golf lingo.
I love it.
And what I really liked was how they used all these terms in the dialogue, right? It made it so much easier to understand.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's really cool about this episode, that it's not just like, here's a definition and then we move on. They actually show you how these terms are used naturally.
Totally. And then they start using these phrases like, as you can see, it's not his day.
Right.
And they point out, you hear these phrases all the time, not just in golf.
Right, right.
Exactly. And they were saying that, it's not his day could just as easily apply to like a tough day at the office or a frustrating commute.
Right, absolutely. It's that feeling of things just not going your way.
Yeah, totally.
Whatever it is.
And speaking of the office,
Oh, here we go.
that's where this whole golf and business connection comes in.
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting.
Right.
Yeah, so the episode really emphasizes how often golf is used for business deals, particularly in Western culture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's this idea of building relationships on the course.
I've heard of that.
And they even said some people who aren't native English speakers will take golf English lessons just for this reason.
Wow, interesting.
Because it's not just about, being able to talk about the game itself.
Right.
It's understanding like the etiquette and the slang
Vocabulary
and,
preview.
all those cultural nuances that can come into play.
So you're saying if I want to close that big deal, maybe I need to brush up on my golf lingo.
It couldn't hurt, right?
Okay. Good.
Knowing the right terms and understanding the culture could give you a real advantage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this deep dive is so valuable.
Yeah,
It's not just about understanding a sport.
right.
It's about understanding how language can impact our professional lives.
Exactly. And we're only just scratching the surface here.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. There's so much more to explore.
All right, let's keep going then.
Let's do it. It's like, think about it. A round of golf takes hours.
Oh, yeah.
You're walking, you're talking, maybe even competing a little bit. So it creates this natural opportunity to like build rapport, get to know people outside the formality of a boardroom.
I can see that.
Yeah. And that's where understanding like the nuances of golf English becomes so important.
Okay.
Knowing how to use the right phrases, understanding the etiquette,
Uh-huh.
even recognizing when someone's using like golf metaphors
Okay,
to make a point about business.
I see.
It can all make a big difference.
So it's not just like knowing the terms. It's about like decoding this whole other language.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like this unspoken language of this very specific social and professional setting.
Right.
And actually, the episode made a fascinating point
Uh-huh.
about how golf can actually reveal a lot about someone's personality
Really?
and their approach to business.
Interesting. How so?
Well, think about it. Like, does someone get easily frustrated when they miss a shot?
Uh-huh.
Are they overly competitive?
Right.
Or are they more focused on, having a good time and building relationships, even if their game isn't perfect?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so you're seeing these behaviors on the golf course,
Uh-huh.
and it could be like a microcosm of how they operate in the business world.
Right, right.
And someone who's fluent in golf English
Okay.
will be able to pick up on those cues
Yeah.
and adjust their own communication style accordingly.
That's going.
It's like, it's about reading between the lines
Right.
and understanding the subtext.
Wow. Okay, so even if I'm not a golfer,
Uh-huh.
understanding these nuances could give me an edge in a business setting.
Absolutely. Where
Right.
golf is part of the culture.
Gotcha. So we've covered the basic terms, explored the connection to business culture,
Right.
even touched on like those non-verbal cues.
Yeah.
What are some like key takeaways you think our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, first, I think it's crucial to remember that language is always evolving.
Oh, okay.
So golf English isn't some static dictionary of terms. It's a living, breathing language that adapts to the people and situations where it's used.
So we need to be flexible.
Exactly.
Okay.
And adaptable in how we use it.
How do we do that?
Well, the best way to do that is to pay attention.
Okay.
Listen to how people are using these golf terms in different contexts.
Uh-huh.
Notice the subtle shifts in meaning and tone.
So it's like being a student of the language,
Exactly.
even if we're not out there on the golf course.
Precisely. And that brings me to my second key takeaway.
Okay.
Don't underestimate the power of observation.
All right.
Even if you never swing a club in your life,
Yeah.
just watching a golf game, paying attention to the commentary,
Yeah.
noticing the interactions between players,
Okay.
it can all be incredibly insightful.
So it's like an anthropological study
You could say that.
of this very particular subculture.
And you know what? Who knows?
It's a
You
bit-
might even find yourself enjoying the game.
I'm with you. It really is fascinating. And what's striking me is how much you're emphasizing this idea of observation.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I'm not a golfer, just by paying attention to how other people are using this golf English,
Right.
I can still gain some insights.
Absolutely.
It's like learning any new language.
Yeah.
Immersion is key.
Immersion is key.
That's right. Listen to those commentators, watch the players, read articles about it.
Exactly.
The more I expose myself to it, the more fluent I become.
It's like anything. The more you surround yourself with it, the more it'll start to make sense.
Yeah, and like we were saying, that fluency can actually have some
Dialogue.
real-world benefits,
Oh, yeah.
especially, in the business world where golf is seen as this important social thing.
Right. Exactly.
So for everyone listening, even if you never actually step foot on a golf course,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for just the power of language
Yeah.
and
The
observation,
matter of observation.
and maybe even sparked a little curiosity
Oh, yeah.
to learn more about this world that might have seemed a little intimidating before.
Exactly.
Who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself enjoying the game.
You never know.
Right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of golf English. We hope you learned something new and maybe even feel inspired to explore this unique language and culture a bit further.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Happy learning.